Hey friends, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome to our video on Michael Walzer's thought-provoking book, Just and Unjust Wars. In this video, we will explore Chapter 2 titled, The Crime of War, where Walzer delves into various important topics related to the moral aspects of war. But first, let's briefly introduce the author. Walzer, an eminent American political philosopher and professor emeritus at the Institute for Advanced Study, has dedicated his career to the study of just war theory and political ethics. His insights have greatly influenced the fields of international relations and moral philosophy. The logic of war. In this section, Walzer investigates how war becomes a tool to resolve conflicts when other methods, such as diplomacy or negotiations, fail to produce a satisfactory outcome. He analyzes the transition from political discussions to armed confrontations, emphasizing the shift from peaceful dialogue to violent conflict resolution. Walzer considers the underlying motives and reasoning behind the decision to resort to war, questioning the moral implications and consequences of turning to violence as a means of addressing disputes. He encourages readers to ponder the ethical considerations when politics transforms into armed confrontation and to reflect on the moral responsibilities and complexities that emerge during this transition. Additionally, the logic of war prompts to think deeply about the broader implications of using force as a method of resolving conflicts. Walzer challenges the conventional understanding of war as an inevitable or necessary response, urging a critical examination of the moral and ethical dimensions inherent in the decision to engage in armed conflict. The argument of Karl von Clausewitz. Karl von Clausewitz, a renowned military theorist, is known for his influential work on war, where he presented profound insights into the nature of war and its relationship with politics. Clausewitz famously characterized war as an extension of politics by other means, emphasizing the intimate connection between military conflicts and political objectives. Walzer engages with Clausewitz's assertion that war serves as a tool to achieve political ends when diplomatic or peaceful means have failed. He prompts readers to consider the moral implications of this view, specifically focusing on the transformation of political disputes into violent confrontations and the ethical responsibilities involved in such a transition. Walzer challenges readers to reflect on the moral complexities inherent in Clausewitz's argument, questioning the legitimacy and ethical implications of using force as a means of achieving political goals. Moreover, Walzer's exploration of Clausewitz's argument prompts deeper contemplation regarding the interplay between military strategies and political decision-making, highlighting the ethical dilemmas and responsibilities faced by policymakers and military leaders when considering the use of force. Ultimately, this section invites to critically assess Clausewitz's perspective on war as an extension of politics and to contemplate the moral and ethical dimensions surrounding the relationship between armed conflict and political objectives as presented by this influential military thinker. The limit of consent. The limit of consent signifies that the decision to engage in war requires more than merely wanting to fight or having a desire for something. Walzer asserts that there must be a compelling reason and a fair intention before a country or entity justifiably starts a war. This notion challenges the perception that initiating war can be done based solely on self-interest or desires, stressing the need for a just cause and ethical intentions. Walzer prompts to reflect on the moral justifications and intentions behind starting a war. He argues that the decision to resort to violence must be based on morally defensible grounds, such as defending against aggression, protecting innocent lives, or addressing grave injustices. He encourages individuals to contemplate the ethical complexities and moral responsibilities associated with the decision to engage in warfare, emphasizing the importance of having justifiable reasons and ethical intentions before embarking on such a potentially devastating course of action. The tyranny of war. The concept of the tyranny of war delves into the moral challenges and ethical complexities that arise within the chaotic and tumultuous landscape of armed conflict. This section explores how war possesses a transformative and compelling power, exerting immense pressure on individuals and groups involved in conflict. Walzer emphasizes that the extreme circumstances of war can sometimes coerce people into behaving in ways contrary to their moral principles or ethical standards. This notion highlights what he refers to as the tyranny of war, a situation where the extraordinary demands and conditions of war can overpower moral judgment and ethical considerations. Walzer prompts readers to consider the moral responsibilities and ethical dilemmas faced by individuals, particularly soldiers, in the midst of war. He acknowledges the immense challenges that soldiers encounter, navigating a morally complex environment where decisions are often made under duress, fear, and intense pressure. Moreover, This section invites readers to reflect on the moral agency and ethical responsibilities of combatants within the context of the moral dilemmas presented by warfare. Walzer's exploration aims to provoke critical thinking about the difficulties of upholding moral standards in the chaos of armed conflict, highlighting the need for individuals to strive to maintain ethical conduct even in the most challenging and demanding situations. General Sherman and the burning of Atlanta. General William Tecumseh Sherman, a Union Army leader, implemented a tactic referred to as total war during the Civil War. The strategy involved targeting not only military resources but also civilian infrastructure and resources to diminish the Confederacy's capacity to wage war. The burning of Atlanta was a pivotal moment in Sherman's March to the Sea campaign. In September 1864, Union forces led by Sherman captured and burned Atlanta, a crucial industrial and transportation center for the Confederacy. This ruthless strategy aimed to cripple the Confederacy's ability to sustain its war efforts by destroying strategic resources, industrial facilities, and transportation hubs. Michael Walzer uses this historical event to illustrate the ethical complexities of warfare, particularly regarding the treatment of civilians and the conduct of military campaigns. Walzer challenges readers to consider whether Sherman's actions, while strategically effective in weakening the enemy, were morally justifiable, especially considering the devastation inflicted upon innocent civilians. By analyzing the burning of Atlanta, Walzer prompts reflection on the ethical dilemmas arising from the deliberate targeting of civilian infrastructure and the suffering imposed on non-combatants during times of war. He encourages readers to contemplate the ethical boundaries of military actions and the moral responsibilities of military leaders to minimize harm to civilians, even amid the chaos of conflict. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of Michael Walzer's work. I hope this video has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to delve further into the fascinating discussions presented in Just and Unjust Wars.